Hello viewers and welcome to a brand new episode of Mechanic Brewery Season 5, where I talk about the various homebrew mechs created by the Lancer community. In today's episode, Ammit, from HORUS, by Jean. Ammit was an ancient Egyptian goddess associated with death, that also has forequarters of a lion, the hindquarters of a hippopotamus, and the head of a crocodile, three of the largest man-eater animals in ancient Egypt, symbolizing that nobody can escape death. And yes, in case you didn't know, hippopotamus is incredibly dangerous, do not approach them, they have on average, higher kill count than goddamn lion and crocodile combined per year, every year. However, despite being a goddess, Ammit wasn't worshipped, and was considered as a demon instead, which in ancient Egyptian mythology, means powerful beings ranked below God and do not have a place of worship. Her primary role in the Duat, ancient Egyptian underworld, was to eat the hearts of those that didn't pass the judgment, those whose heart weighed more than the feather of Ma'at, was deemed impure, and thus Ammit would devour their heart, leaving the deceased without a soul, stuck in the Duat forever, hence, her other title, Devourer of the Dead. Named after the mythology, Ammit is a frame that forever hungers for material and chassis to devour whole. Looking at its stat, Ammit is a size 1 frame with 1 armor, slightly below average health, good repair cap, high evasion, and average speed. It also has a high save target, an okay but also kinda strange sensor range of 12, average E defense, good tech attack, heat cap, and 7 base systems points. As for its traits, it has 3 of them. First, blood in the water. Ammit always know how weak you are, as long as you are in its Wi-Fi range. Second, merciless hunter. If one of Ammit's attack hit and could reduce an enemy's health to 0, roll 1d6, on 4+, they are now 0. To put it another way, say your attack deals 3 plus 3d6 worth of damage, against an enemy with 14 health, you could potentially deal a maximum of 21 damage, so you can roll this dice to see if the enemy gets reduced to 0, this also includes any bonus damage, so it can get quite ridiculous. And third, biomechanical, tech attack against Ammit have +1 difficulty. The first 2 traits combined means that Ammit can be very efficient at deleting enemies like nothing else, if it has a weapon that can deal enough damage potentially, and even if you don't, the first trait lets you know who is the weakest very quickly. This does seem a bit overpowered at first, but you still have to spend an action on an attack, the attack has to connect, and it's not guaranteed, plus, it won't be that effective against enemies with multiple health bar. Also, because of Ammit's strange biomechanical nature, tech attack against Ammit is less effective, but that's about the only defensive trait you get from this controller frame that likes to get close to people, so things could get a bit risky. As for its weapon mounts, it has 2, 1 flex and 1 heavy, meaning it could potentially get a super heavy for merciless hunter trait, though that can be a bit hard to use with only 1 weapon. As for its core passive, Ammit has, consume, really getting straight to the point there. Basically, Ammit has a predator dice, a 1d6 starting at 1, when a hostile character within range 5 is destroyed, Ammit devours them, leaving no wreck behind, and increasing the dice by 1. Ammit may reset the predator dice back to 1 on a hit, to gain bonus damage equal to the number if it's greater than 1, when the predator dice reaches 6, Ammit gains 1 core power. This is what I mean by Ammit being a controller that wants to get close to people, as this can increase total damage dealt by Ammit in 1 attack, triggering Merciless Hunter more often. It's also just more damage. And of course, at the same time, this can bring increased risk to Ammit, as the enemy has to be destroyed when nearby. Worse, those wrecks that could be used as cover is now gone for obvious reasons, so you are lacking even more places to take cover behind. You also get to have more core power, which is nice, but actually getting enough enemies to die to get that extra core power is gonna be rough, and the core power level itself is also compensated for the potential repeatability, which we are getting into right now. For its core power, Ammit can activate the ravenous mouth and bottomless stomach of Ra for Swallow Hole, in which for a full action, Ammit can transport all characters in a burst 4 area into its stomach, which is placed outside of reality and cannot be affected by anything nor affect anything. Anyone inside the stomach must pass a hull save on their turn or take 4 AP energy damage. At the end of your next turn, they are ejected into a space of their choice within burst 4. So, Ammit could literally eat people. That's not horrifying at all. With this core power, Ammit could essentially make someone lose an entire turn and possibly more by trapping them, which can be multiple people at once, which will have very huge impact on the action economy. The fact that this can be done repeatedly is pretty nuts. However, the zone is burst 4, which is absurdly huge, to its benefit and detriment, as it can be quite hard to avoid consuming your own allies in the process too. Your entire team could just stay away from you, but this means nobody can really help you if you are getting your ass kicked. Also, bear in mind, you and your allies can't affect anyone inside the stomach either, so you better clean up those outside fast so you can gang up on those inside when they come out, and when they come out, they also have the benefit of being able to be placed anywhere within the burst 4, which for some NPC, this can actually be a tremendous advantage. Either way, you are gonna eat a lot of people with Ammit, dead or alive. As for the rest of the license, you get Mark of Aggression and Prey Seeker in the first section. Mark of Aggression, Bare Your Fangs, is an invade systems upgrade that gives you more additional options. First, Fangs, until the start of your next turn, allied characters may reroll their first attack roll against the target, they may keep either result. Second, Eyes, until the start of your next turn, attacks against the target gain Seeking. So, rather than directly affecting the targets, these invade options instead make you and your allies attack more accurately against the target in some way, either letting you reroll the attack roll, or just ignoring every single cover in the way. If you want to just kill someone, these are some effective invade options. Prey Seeker, nobody gets to escape. With a quick action, teleport 5 spaces in any direction, you must end adjacent to a hostile character, and the next attack against them ignores engagement penalties. With this system, you can easily catch up to your victim even if there's barrier in the way, just teleport straight through with no problem, aside from the fact that you must teleport right next to your enemies, some of which enjoy being this close to you. Luckily, even if all you have is ranged gun, your next attack ignores the engagement penalty and lets you fire your gun with full accuracy. Though to be honest, if you are already anticipating this, just stab someone with a knife, it's more convenient. Aside from Ammit frame itself, you get Lockjaw and Udaged countermeasures in the second section. Lockjaw, exactly what it said, it's a main melee weapon with long threat but low damage. However, damage isn't exactly what you are looking for here, as Lockjaw can immobilize the target until the end of their next turn, and you may also grapple them as a free action. Also, all attacks done to the target while the target is still immobilized gains +1 accuracy. Essentially, this is just another thing to keep your victim from running away. This time you just take away their mobility. Also, being able to grapple people for free is pretty nice to have. Udaged countermeasures, I have no idea if I'm spelling that right or not, is a full tech systems upgrade that gives you 2 additional options. First, nearsighted, until the end of your next turn, hostile character outside of range 5 treat you as invisible. Second, farsighted, basically the same except reverse. So, I have already mentioned how much danger Ammit could be in from having to be close to people to utilize its traits and passive. I suppose this is its answer to that problem. You can effectively choose hostile nearby or far away to have difficulty in attacking you, and the fact that this full tech doesn't need sensor range at all means that anyone can use it well. Problem is, it's full tech, so you won't be doing much in the same turn, at least you won't take too much damage, probably. In the final section, you get Wrath and Judgment of Anubis. Wrath, synonym of anger, with a full action, you gain the Wrath reaction until the start of your next turn, in which when a hostile within line of sight and sensor range is attacked, you get to invade the target. This may happen before or after the attack resolves. At first glance, this looks kinda busted, especially with the infinite per round limit, but the reality is, unless you have more than 2 allies, this is useless, and while the average size of a Lancer party is 4, meaning 3 potential invades, a lot of things can still put a stop to that. Plus, you might not be able to use other reaction with this in the way, like Leader. All in all, a good way to invade people more, just take note of its limit. Lastly, there's Judgment of Anubis. This is a goddamn JoJo meme, isn't it? It's a main, something, that has a decent range, as well as Seeking and Smart, rather than just doing damage normally because, you fucking can't. Upon hitting with the Judgment of Anubis, roll 2d6, if it's higher than the target's health, the target takes 3 typeless damage, which cannot be resisted in any way possible. If you succeed, roll again, up to a maximum of 3 times for a max of 9 typeless damage. I'm not even sure where to begin with this one, but it's an interesting weapon, that's for sure. What this weapon does is actually quite simple. The less health the target has, the more damage you might do. However, if the target has 12 or higher in health, this weapon is basically completely useless. Also, this is a 2d6 roll, meaning you are never going to get dice result of 12 to 9 frequently, so this weapon is basically only reliable when the target has like 6 to 8 health, in which case you could then maybe finish them off in one turn. So basically, this is a very gimmicky weapon, better use it while keeping that in mind. And that's basically it on Ammit. a constantly hungry frame that got real tired of waiting for things to die to eat, so it decided to be more proactive. Anyway, that's all for now, and I will see you all next time. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell button. If you really want to support my channel, you could visit my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.